Most beginner video editors think their problem is skill. They spend months learning effects, transitions, color grading, but they still can't make any money. The real reason is completely different. You watch tutorials, improve your editing, even build a portfolio, but then you start reaching out to creators and nothing happens. No money, no clients, no replies. After working with 15 to 20 clients myself, I realized that every beginner video editor makes these 4 mistakes, and the first one is focusing only on skill. Most editors believe one thing, and that's that better skills equals more money. So they spend months learning effects, transitions, color grading, motion graphics, and the reality is that their edits actually end up looking pretty good and their work is great. But when it comes to closing clients, they get 0 replies, and this is where the problem comes into play. Most creators don't hire you because your edits look nice or you have cool motion graphics or something similar. They hire you because they have a problem you can help them solve. And the real problems creators have are that they don't have enough time to edit their videos, or their channel isn't growing, the retention is low, or that they want to make more money, get more sales, more views. When looking for a video editor, they look for someone who can help them solve these issues, not someone who's promising only cool transitions, cool animations, or just great visuals. They look for someone who's going to help them solve their problems, not just make their video more flashy. So what actually gets you hired is if you help them save time, make their workflow easier, understand their content correctly, and help their videos perform better. So you need to make this mindset shift. You need to stop thinking, how can I show how good my video editing is? And you need to start thinking, how can I make this creator's life easier? And how can I help them scale their business? This is what they actually care about. So the key takeaway from this first mistake is that the editors who get paid the most aren't always the best editors. They are the editors who help solve the biggest problems. And now let's move on to the mistake number 2, and that's bad outreach. Once beginner video editors start looking for clients, they all tend to do the same thing and send the exact same message. Something along the lines, hey, I'm a video editor, I can help you edit your videos, or hire me, I can edit videos, or just something similar like that. And they send this to dozens of creators basically. And the issue is that most of the creators get tens, maybe even hundreds of messages like this every single day. And to them, it just looks like a complete spam, and they won't even open it because of how many messages like this they get every single day. So what you need to do instead is send a message that shows these 2 things immediately. The first is that you actually watch their content, and the second, that you understand their channel, what they are making, and what they are trying to achieve. For example, I might watch a video where a creator is trying to explain how to make money with faceless channels. And let's say that the first thing I noticed is that the content itself is great, but the editing makes some of the parts harder to follow and maybe even harder to comprehend, which could be harming the retention or the watch time. And if the viewers are able to understand it more clearly and it's more easy to comprehend, they're gonna be much more likely to finish the video. And this could help them increase views or basically retention or the watch time, and it could even help them to increase trust the viewers have to them. And good thing to mention is how this is actually tied to their business. So let's say they are selling a course or something similar, it's a good idea to mention this in your message as well, so they actually see how this can help them make more money or get more sales. Because at the end of the day, if you show them that you will help them get more sales, make more money, there is a good chance that you will actually pay for yourself, and they understand this. Why this works is that you show immediately that you actually watched their content, you understand it, and you understand their business at least partially as well. And that already separates you from most of the editors who send just general messages without personalization or any extra value added basically. So what makes this approach different is that most editors talk about transitions, animations, effects. But if you do this, you actually talk about things the creators rarely talk about. Improving their content, getting more views, making more money. And the key takeaway from the second mistake is that if you focus on the goals of the creators you are reaching out to, you immediately stand out from the dozens of generic messages they receive every single day. And the mistake number 3 is reaching out to creators who can't pay you. And this is another thing most of the beginner editors make, and that's they are reaching out to creators who are basically in the same financial situation as them. What this means is, even if you would be the best editor and would send the best message in the world, they can't pay you even if they wanted to. So it doesn't matter how good your editing or outreach is. if they don't have the money to pay you in the first place. So you need to start filtering the creators you reach out to better. And there are usually two types of creators who can generally afford to pay their editors well. The first type are smaller creators who are using their content to sell something, so they are directly making money from their YouTube channel. They are selling some type of course, program, or maybe digital products, or maybe even physical products, but it's directly tied to their channel. So if you can show them that better editing is going to help them make more money, get more sales, or increase their conversion rates, they're gonna be much more than happy to pay you well, if you can actually show them that you are going to bring real results. And the second type are already big creators who are making enough from their channels to be able to pay you, so they have high ad revenue, getting sponsorships. But the issue with these is that it's going to be much harder to actually reach them and close them as a new client, because obviously if they have hundreds of thousands of followers, they are going to have much more people reaching out to them. So you need to think about it this way: your ideal client is probably going to be someone who has small but growing audience. They are actively building a business outside of YouTube and they rely on their content to make money. And these are your ideal clients because for them, improving their content not only gets them more views, but it directly makes them more money. And the key takeaway from this third mistake is that you need to look for creators whose revenue is directly connected to their content, or they are already making a lot of money from their channels, because those are the ones who are actually going to be able to pay you well. And before I move on to the mistake number 4, once you find the right creators, the next big challenge is how you actually reach out to them, because that's where most beginner video editors get stuck. So while making this video, I also put together a short guide with some of the scripts and principles I used to close some of my biggest YouTube clients. If you want it, you can get it completely for free by signing up to my newsletter through the link in the description, and you will receive it straight into your email inbox. And I'll be also sharing there more free things that can help you with your editing journey in the future as well, so make sure you don't miss it. And now let's move on to the mistake number 4, and that's undervaluing yourself. Most beginner editors assume that they aren't qualified to get paid more, so they ask for low prices for their work. They charge like $100, $150 for long forms, maybe $20, $30 for short form. But the issue with this is that in most cases nobody is going to offer you more than you ask for, because they obviously are trying to maximize their profits as well. So if you never ask for a higher price, you will never actually know if someone would be willing to pay you that much. It sounds like a simple logic, but not many people actually do this. So if you want to charge more, you actually have to start charging more. The problem is that most editors don't actually know the client's budget, so they are just guessing. And because they aren't confident, they are undervaluing themselves, asking for much less than the client might be willing to pay them in reality. I remember when my usual price for a long form video was around $300 for that style the client was asking for, and that was the price I usually offered to most of the new leads I got and I was talking to. And honestly, even that was a bit uncomfortable to charge at the time for me. But at some point I decided to start testing it and asking for more than double of what my original price was at the time. And to my surprise, the client actually said that this fits their budget and that they were honestly expecting something around this price range. So what this shows is that even if the price feels too high for you, it might be the completely normal price for the client, and you'll never know unless you ask. So the key takeaway from this last fourth mistake is to actually start charging more and asking for higher prices, because you'll never know if someone is willing to pay you that much unless you ask. And honestly, if your editing skills are already decent, earlier or later someone is going to agree to that price, and they are gonna be more than happy to pay you that much. And to sum this all up, when beginner editors struggle to make money, they usually think the problem is their editing skills. But most of the time, the real problems are things like focusing only on skills, sending generic outreach, targeting the wrong creators, and undervaluing themselves and not being confident enough. So once you fix those 4, the whole process of landing clients becomes much easier, and you'll be actually able to finally start making the money you want. And if you are a video editor, let me know in the comments with what things you struggle the most right now. I'm curious to see. And if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing, because I will be definitely making more content like this in the future.